And October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it's a time dedicated to honoring survivors, educating the public, and taking action to end domestic violence. The El Paso Police Department receives thousands of family violence calls that has even led to a concerning increase in domestic violence homicides. Domestic violence charges are treated seriously in Texas, including stronger protective orders for victims, something that went into effect last month. And joining us now is El Paso District Attorney James Montoya. Mr. Montoya, thank you for joining the program with us once again on a topic I know that is very important to you. Now, back in October of 2024, the DA's office under the previous administration was awarded a pretty sizable grant that revived the domestic violence unit here in El Paso. And then when you assumed office back in January, that's when their work started. What does that job consist of in relation to your office?
Sure. So, domestic violence cases are really difficult cases to prosecute. Many times the victims of the offense don't want to press charges or don't want to move forward with the case. And sometimes there's a state interest, a community interest in ensuring that the cases are prosecuted, even if the complainant doesn't want to move forward with the case, even if the victim doesn't want to move forward. And there's a number of factors for that. Domestic violence is something that has been studied by academics for years. And, one of the things that they've identified is the sooner that a victim realizes that they have options, that there are other, they're not trapped, they're not stuck in this situation. Once they have a plan to get out of these very volatile relationships, that they're safer, and more often than not, they're more willing to cooperate with the prosecution. And so using the grant funds, the grant that was awarded to the district attorney's office, we are doing home visits. And by that, somebody from the office, from the district attorney's office, an investigator and a victim advocate are going out to meet victims at their homes. The goal is within 24 hours of the offense, or 24 hours of the arrest, making contact with the victim and letting them know about the services that are available to them through our office, through the county attorney's office, through the Center Against Family and Sexual Violence, and other NGOs and nonprofits that can help them break the cycle of violence and get out of these very volatile and very dangerous relationships. And so the point of the domestic violence unit within the DA's office is to make contact with victims as quickly as possible and let them know about the services and options that they have available.
Domestic violence remains a critical issue here in El Paso, and the trends, quite frankly, they're concerning right now. How does your office, the DA's office, handle these types of cases, and how are they prosecuted? Is that any different maybe than what we've seen under previous administrations?
Yeah, so domestic violence is a scourge on our community. We live in a very safe community. For a city of our size, we tend to have much lower violent crime than other similarly sized cities. But we still have domestic violence. We still have folks that are trapped in these very dangerous relationships that require state intervention. And so, one of the things that I was really proud of when I took office, or one of the changes that we made immediately, is we made it an office policy to consult with all victims before we dispose of the case. And so before we either offer a plea bargain, before we decide to take a case to trial, before sometimes a dismissal is appropriate, we are making all efforts possible to contact a victim and to figure out where they are, how they feel about the case, and see what kind of case we want to move forward with. That was not happening before. My first few months in office, I was having meetings with victims who their cases had been disposed of either by a plea agreement or dismissal, and they had never even been notified that their case was being finalized. And so that was very troubling to me. That was something that we changed right away. I'm proud to report that we are on track this year for more convictions, more people pleading guilty to domestic violence than last year, and we're also on track for fewer dismissals in domestic violence cases than last year. And so we're making progress. These cases require a tremendous amount of attention. They require a tremendous amount of judgment on behalf of the prosecutors that are working them. They require a tremendous amount of work on the victim advocates who are working with these individuals. And so it's something that we're committed to. In my mind, domestic violence, this is a chance for homicide prevention. I mean, again, it has been studied time and time and again that, women are murdered by their intimate partners. And, just this year, at least 4 of the murder cases that are pending in El Paso that happened this year, there is a domestic component to that, a familial relation to some of those homicides. And so we want to make sure that we're intervening as early as possible to try to prevent those types of homicides from happening later on.
And with October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, the Crimes Victim Walk is happening, of course, on October 26th. And this has become an annual event for the DA's office, but it'll be your first as the district attorney. Why is it important for you to keep this tradition going?
Yeah, so, we have Crime Victims Memorial Week in April, but October, as you noted, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's really important for us here in El Paso to host this walk. It's something that's been a key event that the District Attorney's Office organizes annually. I'm really proud that we're keeping that tradition going because so often when you meet with victims of crime, one of the most common emotions that they express is feeling alone and feeling vulnerable and feeling isolated. And my message to them is, you are not alone. There are people here who want to help you, who will help you. It takes a lot of courage to come forward, and sometimes that is the most dangerous time. Again, they've done studies that when women seek to leave these relationships, that's actually when it's most dangerous, and we want to make sure that they know that the community supports them, that the community supports other victims of crime, other survivors of crime, and their families. And so organizing the walk, hosting, again, it's a message of solidarity, it's a message of unity, and to know that support is out there and those resources are out there, and you are not alone.
Mr. Montoya, thank you for speaking with us today, again, on a topic that, of course, is very important. I'm sure is going to resonate throughout the month. We certainly appreciate your insight with us here today.
Yes.
All right, El Paso District Attorney.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, you got it. El Paso District Attorney James Montoya.